My story started before I could even walk. My dad had a 1950 CJ3A. At some point when I was young, he tore it apart with the intention of doing a frame-up restoration. I had spent many hours working on that project with him, and when I was a teenager, he told me if I finished it, I could have it. Not long after, I found a CJ2A, 1947. I was able to combine the two and build a complete running project. This Jeep you see behind me is the third one I've had, and being the most operational of the three, I've had a lot of fun adventures behind the wheel. Today I wanted to walk around and show you some of the things I've done and some of the things I plan to do going forward with this Jeep. If you're interested, like and subscribe to my channel to follow the progress of the Jeep and also join me on some of my adventures behind the wheel of this Jeep. So this is a 73 CJ5. When I first saw it, I was living in Southern California at the time in the Marine Corps, working in the Marine Corps. The owner of it lived down the street from me, and every day we drove by, me and my wife, I would say, I want that Jeep, I want that Jeep. Every time we drove by, I want that Jeep. And eventually I wore her down to the point where she said, okay, if that Jeep ever goes for sale for less than $5,000, I'll let you buy it. So a few months go by, and one day I see a for sale sign on the Jeep. I got so excited I almost jumped out of the car while I was driving. To make a long story short, we ended up getting this Jeep for $4,800 in 2016 about. So how about we go take a closer look and I'll show you what it's got. So to start off with some of the things I have done, if you notice there's a bench seat in there. When I got the Jeep, it actually had some hard plastic bucket seats, no padding at all, and they were very uncomfortable. These seats I actually swapped in here out of the back row of a Jeep Grand Cherokee. They're leather and they're actually quite comfortable. Another thing I've done, I've actually put a power steering swap, which I'll show you that in a little bit as well, underneath the hood. And the glove box over there. When I got it, it didn't have a glove box, which is a quite, I think, a common thing with these Jeeps. So I had a hard time finding this lid. I actually found it in a junkyard. I got it out of a CJ5. I saw in the junkyard, just kind of browsing their website for what they had in stock, and I saw a CJ5. I ran out there. I had to go see it, and they actually happened to have one of these lids there, and so that was something great that I've added so far. All right, so what's under the hood is an AMC 258 inline 6. It runs great. I haven't had any serious issues with it in the 6 years I've owned it, and it's a good, reliable engine. This would be the predecessor to the well-known 4.0 that Jeep ran for 25 years or so. So I was sitting down to put this video together, and I realized I forgot to talk about one of the most important things, the engine. So right now I'm here in the garage, and I'm going to put that together real quick, just kind of talk about the engine and some of the upgrades that are on that, some that came with it and some that I actually put on myself. If you see this right here, if you know what Clifford Performance is, Clifford, I forget the name of the guy, but he was a race car driver. He used to race the AMC Hornet, I think, which used the same engine, which is kind of cool. It's like an old muscle car engine, basically. This is the same era where they started putting V8s in Jeeps. But that Clifford Performance 6 equals 8, he was able to basically modify his AMC Hornet engine to pull a lot of power out of it. And this has some of those upgrades in it that came with the Jeep, which is awesome. So it does have a 2-barrel carburetor, 2-barrel Weber carburetor, which is not the stock option for the Jeep. That's an upgrade. And if you notice, it's got headers down there. So it does have headers. Also part of that Clifford 6 equals 8 performance upgrade. So something that I've done recently, I actually tore out the old ignition system and I put in a GM HEI, it's high energy ignition system, which has been a big upgrade as well. Just higher performance ignition, more spark equals more power, right? So that was a fun upgrade I've done, I don't know, last summertime. So I'll see if I can crawl under here. So, if you can see, right there, that's the power steering box. Very easy swap. That's where the original power steering box mounted. The original manual steering box mounted right there. And I was very easily able to just pull that old one off. put this one on and roll with it. And I did have to get the power steering pump, which is up there. So yeah, I had to add in this ham can power steering pump. Still not a big deal. I basically was able to use the same mount for the pump because again, I got this pump off of the same Cherokee that had an inline six, so very, very similar to this engine. Just a couple decades different in age. They ran that engine for a long time. So pretty straight swap. So I do have quite a few future plans for this Jeep. One of them is dealing with this rust right here. This being a California Jeep, it's not too rusty. It's actually in really great shape compared to other Jeeps of its age, I'm sure. There's no holes in the floor. I just have a few minor rust spots growing, and I want to address them before they get any worse, and that's something I'll be doing in the near future. Something also that'll be happening sooner. I have a bumper that I got, a tire carrier bumper that I got that I want to place back here. It'll be a retrofit. It's for a 76. CJ5 I wasn't able to find one for a 73. But some of the things I'm going to have to do is remove this. It's mounted, hard mounted. Same thing with this spare tire is hard mounted. The reason I want to replace this bumper is so I can have the opening tailgate like this is supposed to have. Another thing that I'm going to have to address in that case is these lights are going to be in the way. And so my current thought, if you have any ideas, just let me know in the comments below. But my current thought is that I'm going to move these lights up here. And then with that small hole that's left over right here, I'm actually going to put some flush mount reverse lights, backup lights, and remove this guy. So that'll be a fun project happening sooner, so keep an eye out for that. And then one other thing that I'm hoping to get done in the next year or so is to get a small lift on this. If you can see, I'll try and show you down here, the springs are in pretty poor shape. They're very flat. And so they need to be replaced, and I figured while I'm doing it, I might as well put a small lift. Nothing big, a couple inches, 2.5 inches or so. Also may improve the ride quality, this old Jeep, So another thing that I'll be doing, possibly along with repairing that rust, is taking off this diamond plating. I want to put some rock sliders on there as well as some small steps for my wife and kids to have a little easier time getting in the Jeep, especially after I lift it. I'm not sure about this corner diamond plating yet. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. I may remove that and just paint it that orange color. But I do know for sure I'll be removing this diamond plating and putting on some rock sliders. So I will be retrofitting that 76 tire carrier bumper on this Jeep. So make sure you subscribe and watch for that video when I get it up. I'll be going through the entire process of retrofitting, basically custom fitting it to the 73 CJ5.